Rick Van Nieuwenhuyse, CEO of Contango Ore. It's good to see you again. I've been following you for a while and working with you for a while, and we're here at VRIC. It's been very busy. I mean, that lineup that we were just discussing, right?
The lineup's crazy.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. This is my fourth or fifth one, and so I'm not a wizened vet, but that's the largest lineup I've seen thus far. So those sort of, call them kind of hallmarks of a bull run kind of thing might be here, right? So.
$5,000 gold, $100 silver brings them in.
That'll do it. Yeah, that's the ones that, exactly, right?
And $6 copper.
That's right. Yeah, can't forget the copper, right? Dr. Copper. So no, I just thought I'd ask you thank you for your time, and I just wanted to take an opportunity here to chat with you about Contango Ore. So why don't you just, first of all, just introduce yourself to my viewers and to people watching, just who you are and who Contango Ore is.
Sure. So my name is Rick Van Nieuwenhuyse. I'm the President and CEO of Contango Ore. We are an Alaskan-based an Alaskan gold producing company. We're averaging about 60,000 ounces of gold a year in production. All-in sustaining costs for the life of mine are about $1,500. So with $5,000 gold, we're making pretty good money. We've just recently announced a merger of equals with Dolly Varden Silver. So that brings a significant amount of silver to our gold-dominated portfolio, which we like. We like silver, so our objective is to build a North American gold, silver, precious metals producing company focused on developing high-grade deposits. So all of our deposits are on the high-grade end of the spectrum, if you will.
Excellent. And so maybe you already kind of tiptoed into it a bit, but can you just review, here we are in January, right? Conference season is upon us, and can you just review 2025 and what it brought for Contango Ore and the successes that you found there?
So yeah, in Manh Choh, our gold deposit in Alaska that's in production, it's a joint venture with Kinross. We found it. Rather than build our own mill and tailings facility, we said, Kinross at Fort Knox has excess capacity, let's just use their excess capacity in their mills. We formed a joint venture with them. Start to finish, got the project into production in 3 years, which is unheard of in North America. And for a total of about $250 million of capital, which is also unheard of in America. But it's because we didn't build a mill and a tailings facility and a power plant and all that. So we use what we refer to now as a direct shipping ore model, or DSO model, where we don't build a mill and a tailings facility. We don't have to permit all those things. There's a whole bunch of risk that it's taken off the table. There's a whole lot of capital that gets taken off the table. For a startup junior company, that's important because it's hard to raise money and it takes a long time to permit in the United States specifically. So we've basically now used that model and approached that model in developing other projects. Our Lucky Shot project fits the model. We're underground drilling right now. High-grade underground mine is what we envision there. We're fully permitted. Our Johnson Tract project, we're in the permitting process. We're part of the Fast 41 permitting campaign under President Trump's initiative to get more mining in the United States and build a supply chain, if you will. So that project is a few years off in terms of getting the permitting done and getting the underground development in place. But we have basically, though, with those assets, we have a 5-year plan to grow our production from the current 60,000 to over 200,000 ounces with those 3 projects. And then we bolt on now Dolly Varden assets at Kitsault, which are silver dominant. There's some gold there, but they're more of a silver focused company. So when we combine that, in roughly the same time frame as Johnson Tract, maybe a year later, we'll bring in 4 million ounces of silver production on top of that 200,000 ounces of gold production. So that's our objective as a company. When we put the companies together, we'll have $100 million of cash on hand. These are all US dollars. We'll be generating over $100 million of free cash flow to be able to advance our projects. We're New York Stock Exchange listed, and when we combine, we'll have about 31 million shares outstanding. So I call it a rocket ship because we have our eye on a number of other assets that fit the model, the DSO model, where you have high grades, you're close to infrastructure. If you're on the water, you're close to infrastructure. And then, that's the plan.
Excellent. No, you did a good recap. And so maybe just as a quick follow-up, can you just, obviously this merger of equals with Dolly Varden closing at the end of the quarter, I believe, or sometime in March, can you just, what are some other key milestones that investors can anticipate in 2026?
Yeah, so we're underground drilling at Lucky Shot now, so we'll start releasing results here within a month or so. We're not going to sort of do it a whole at a time. We want to sort of put some serious news out. We're pleased with how the drilling's going, and it's we know that the quartz vein it's a pretty simple geologic system, quartz vein and granodiorite, free gold and very low sulfide, so very easy system and from a geological standpoint, geological risk I think is relatively low. Got to drill the holes to see if the gold's in the vein, but the vein's there. So there'll be news out on that. Johnson Tract is permitting, so I know that's not the sexiest news, but we're in the process and we're moving that forward. We actually will be constructing a road this summer, so that's I think that's newsworthy. That'll connect the camp to the portal site. We should get our permits to build the portal later this year. So those things are all ongoing. They're all newsworthy, and of course, at Kitsault, we'll be drilling about 50,000 meters of drilling, mostly infill and some expansion drilling there. We'll be putting out an MRE in probably May, June timeframe. So those are all, well, put that out first and then we do the 50,000 meters of drilling. So we'll have news flow pretty much all year. And I'd say the other big thing we're working on, and this will be a sort of a step change for the company, is we're looking at buying our own mill. The DSO model for Manh Choh has worked out really well with Kinross because they have excess capacity. But now that we're kind of getting a significant amount of resources put together between Johnson Tract and Kitsault, which are both sulfide polymetallic. They're one's Johnson Tract's gold-rich polymetallic, Kitsault silver-rich polymetallic. But you need a mill that can handle sulfide ores, and so we're looking at maybe purchasing one ourselves. And so that'll be, when we accomplish that, that'll be a big step change for the company.
Absolutely, yeah, that would signal a whole new kind of era for you if you start to in-house that. And so maybe I actually have two more questions for you, one that I can't help but ask afterwards. But first of all, what's the, how to say it or how to phrase it? What's the key hurdle that you have to overcome to drive? You've obviously had a very good year. I think that you bottomed out, the pendulum swung too far in terms of concerns over previous issues around bridge restrictions that have since been allayed. And then you've had an excellent year now. I think you're trading north of $31 here, US, doing very well. But what's the key hurdle now for you to drive another re-rate? What do you have to overcome to drive another re-rate for investors?
I think the first thing is get the Dolly Varden merger completed. Shareholder votes in March sometime, or the proxy is still going through the SEC, and it's a bit of a black hole in terms of when we get it back out from them. But hopefully, we'll get that back out and get it reviewed and get that out to shareholders so the vote can take place in probably late March. So that's a big thing, because there'll be about a whole lot of index buying, because that's $1 billion company now, and we're part of the GDXJ, we're part of the Russell 2000. Dolly's on both the silver exchanges, and so and then we're going to keep the Canadian listing for Dolly, but get it upgraded to the full board.
Sure.
So there'll be index buying related to that as well. So I think there'll be a re-rate related to that. And then the other one is what I was referring to before, is buying a mill.
Sure.
Now you've got the complete story. You've got a 20-year business plan now between the resources that we have at Johnson Tract and Kitsault, and then of course Lucky Shot, which is, I know it's a relatively small amount of production, but it's really high grade and it's going to make a lot of money. It's going to spit out a lot of cash.
Sure.
And high margin, exactly. Yeah. We like those, and look, we got $5,000 gold. Maybe we got $10,000 gold. There's folks predicting that by the end of the year. Hope they're right. If they're in, $100 silver we talked about. So I think our timing is really good in the market.
As you say, you said it yourself, right? A series of step changes, and you just kind of continue to ladder up in scale and ambition. So no, excellent. Rick Van Nieuwenhuyse, thank you for your time, and yeah, good luck in 2026.
Good seeing you.
All right, cheers.